tapping out and settling, I see why people do it, honestly, because it's just that hard. It's an emotional roller coaster. And if you've never waited, then honestly, you don't know. You just don't know what it's like. Hey guys, what's up? It's Thursday, June 26th, I think. Trying to stay consistent, making my weekly vlog, and just gonna jump into it. I named this vlog today, The Wait, the Struggle is Real. Just been, going through a challenging time, I guess. Was journaling this morning, I'm trying to do that more consistently. I used to do it and I kind of added it back to my morning routine. But just, trying to get the thoughts down, because it's this weird thing. It's like I'm trying to figure something out, like if there's a different way to go about this, do I need to change something in my routine? And I really haven't been able to come up with anything, because it's just hard, it's just hard to do. Like, not just waiting to have sex, but like waiting for a breakthrough to come, for something that you've been working really hard for. Even for people out there that maybe can't relate to the waiting for God thing, I think everyone can relate to working really hard at something and waiting for it to happen, waiting for a breakthrough to come. But more specifically, waiting for that right person while you're waiting to have sex is extremely challenging. It's really difficult to do. I mean, there's been so many nights that I've wanted to just give up, that I've just wanted to settle, and just like pull over and tap out, because it's just too hard to go home and, by yourself night after night, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And at some point you're like, is this gonna happen? Like, I might be single forever, I don't know. And you start to, tapping out and settling. I see why people do it, honestly, because it's just that hard. It's an emotional roller coaster. And if you've never waited, then honestly, you don't know. You just don't know what it's like. And I'm sure people will respond to this video and they'll be like, oh, do this or do that. And I'm like, if you haven't waited voluntarily for an extended period of time, then you just don't understand. It's the hardest thing to do. Like, you have to change your whole life to do it successfully. I mean, it's not even just the limiting of the sex. It's like, I miss physical touch sometimes. Like, it'd be cool just to spoon or whatever, cuddle up on the couch, but I can't do it, because for me, it always leads to sex, or it always has. It's just too dangerous. So it's like, you have to keep your boundaries up far, and it wears you out, and it's really hard, and sometimes I'm like, man, I should just get married, but I'm just too afraid of doing that and settling and then being unhappier later. You know what I mean? Because I really do firmly believe that it's better to be single and lonely than with the wrong person and unhappy. Because at least when you're single and lonely, you have hope that you might meet the right person. In addition to the fact that the wait it can be the most productive years of your life if you use it properly. And I mean, if anybody from an outsider can look at my life, I mean, I'm doing a lot right now. Like, I've done, started a nonprofit and wrote a book and did a small group curriculum, and have now groups meeting in different parts of the world, and I'm speaking, and I got this course that I just launched, and promoting shows, concerts at, getting ready to promote concerts at Horseshoe Casino. I got a lot going on, and I attributed most of it directly to the wait, because I had to do something with that energy and that time. And not to say it was easy, it was super difficult, but as hard as it was, or is, it's equally beneficial. As hard as it is, it's equally beneficial. I took some notes here because I didn't want to leave anything out, but I guess, something that I wrote in my journal today, as I said, I haven't been able to say for a long time that I'm enjoying my life overall. And I know that sounds kind of heavy to say. I'm not complaining, but like I have really good moments where I'm like times with friends or family, or relationships I have with church friends, or I'll have great days at work. But it's just, there's a lot of moments in between those moments where it's just like, it's like this dull pain, the weight is. And again, I haven't been able to figure out how to get out of it. Like it's basically kind of unavoidable. It's just part of the deal, and you have to be able to weather the storm and just go through it and, make it to that next moment. That's going to be, like, for example, today was a great day. Last night I was a little down, woke up kind of journaling and questioning. I read my vision statement. I just updated my vision statement, and it got me excited again. And I came in and had a great day at work. And, but it really is an emotional roller coaster, and it's definitely not for the faint-hearted at all. I see why people date out of loneliness and why they get into relationships quickly, because the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. Like it reminds me almost of like, so I did bodybuilding years ago. I did some bodybuilding shows, and like when you're getting ready for a show, you have to live so disciplined. You have to wake up early as shit in the morning. You have to go do cardio first thing on an empty stomach, hard cardio. You got to lift weights, grueling weight training sessions. You got to diet. That's the worst part, is the diet. I mean, you're like eating egg whites, oatmeal, brown rice, broccoli, chicken, and that's about it, right? And it's so bland, and like all you think about is food, right? When you're, because your body fat is dropping, so your body's wanting to replace it, and it's all you think about is food. And you just have to live so disciplined for about 12 weeks in order to get in that kind of shape. And that's what this reminds me of, because it's like you have to walk that narrow path. It requires so much discipline. It's like you're living in a world of people that aren't walking that path. Just like when I was bodybuilding, everybody's eating around me. Nobody else is getting up at the butt crack of dawn and busting their ass doing cardio and weights. And you're doing this, but you're going for something. You have this vision in your mind of what you want to look like so you can be competitive on stage. It's the same thing with the weight. Like I have this vision that God gave me. He put in my heart and in my mind. It's like a splinter in my brain that I'm trying to build, because it hurts to not have it done. And I know it's going to help a lot of people, and it's going to be super gratifying for me. But, I have to live so disciplined to get there, And I believe, again, that's why Jesus called his called his followers disciples. Could have called them anything. Could have called them followers. Could have called them, anything. He called them disciples, because it requires you to live this super disciplined life. And sometimes it's just not fun to be the guy that can't eat when everybody else around you is eating. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's like. I think about the verse where there was a verse in the Bible where Jesus said, if anyone loves the world, then the Father is not in him. You can't love it, because if you love it, you're partaking in everything, right? Like when I was out in the world doing dirt, life was easy. I loved it. Like girls, drinking, like whatever. Just it was, you ain't got to worry about treating people like they're more important than you or being kind. Like when you're walking this narrow path, you got to do all that, and sometimes that shit is not fun. It hurts, and it's a hard way to live. And fortunately, I have those moments with family and friends that have made it tolerable. That's the only reason that I've been able to continue going is those moments where I get, oh man, like I went to a birthday party for Kima a weekend or two ago. I think it was the weekend before last. And it was just the most amazing time. We just laughed our asses off. We were doing karaoke, and it was just the greatest vibe and food. And it's like nights like that make it possible to go through all the hard things that you have to go through as you navigate your way through. So I will say that my life is getting better and better, like slowly. Just work is getting more fulfilling. Like I'm enjoying my days here. Things are starting to work more. I mentioned that last week on my blog. My impact is growing. Like we literally have people, reaching out from all over the world, groups meeting in Dallas and Houston. There's still one in Phoenix. Shout out to Penny Riggs, I think, who's going to be taking the lead out there. So, and we have this map where I posted the link actually in this, where if you look at it, you click on that link after this vlog is over, and you'll see the people that have added themselves to the Why Waiting Works and the City Fam community. These are people that are saying, hey, we're out here, we're like-minded, we want to connect with other people. So what we're doing is I have Claudia Hoffman actually reaching out to those people and connecting the people that live close together and seeing if they want to start a Truth About Sex group, and potentially it will turn into a City Fam at some point. You know, I'm just trying to figure out how to be optimistic and upbeat consistently so that I can continue. Well, number one, because I got to continue to work. The vision is so big. There's so much that needs to be done still. There's so much work that needs to be done on the vision, but also on me in order to lead this thing. And it's like, if you're not optimistic and upbeat, how do you work at a high level? How do you put in the time and work hard? Because it's hard to work when you're depressed. You know what I mean? Number two, if I'm feeling heavy, then other people are feeling that from me, and as I go, so the organization will go. So I'm trying to figure that out. But honestly, the only thing that I can come up with most of the time is to work, because I see this world that I'm trying to create, and I know that when I get there, it's going to be super gratifying, you know, and it's going to be like, it's like right now I'm still in the desert in some ways, and I'm just trying to get to the promised land, and I talk about that a lot. So anyway, I was on a call this morning with the person that's bringing me to Romania, and I was talking to them about the trip that's coming up at the end of July. I'm really excited about that. We're going there for 2 weeks, and then I'll be going back again for the whole month of October. They're having me there to speak, and they're translating my book into Romanian right now, and they're going to print 2,000 copies, and you know, they're going to be given away or sold at some schools. And the girl that's translating it was, you know, she's like, basically she told me on the phone today, she's like, I didn't agree with your stance on waiting. And she's like, I was translating the book kind of as a favor to the person that's bringing me over there. And she said the book impacted her so much that for 5 days, she couldn't work. She couldn't translate because she was in a relationship with a guy. She is still having sex, and the guy is dragging his feet. He's not proposing, right? And they've had conversations, and she read the book, and it impacted her so much that she's like, she's basically going to go give him an ultimatum, like, either you propose or we're breaking up. We're not having sex anymore. So you either propose. I said, she's basically going to cut the sex off. And I said, what's going to happen is he's either going to marry you to get the sex, or he's going to leave, at which point you will find out that he wasn't in love with you. It's a bold move. It's 100% the right move, but it takes a lot of balls to do that. And that's what she's going to do. She's going to go back. She's Romanian, but she lives in Germany, and she's going to talk to her boyfriend and say, we're not having sex anymore until our wedding night. And he's either going to marry you to get the sex, or he's going to split. Either way, you win, because you find out if he's in love with you or not. Because at the end of the day, do you want to be with somebody for the rest of your life that was never really in love with you? You know, so this is the way to find out. So she's like, I wish I read your book 20 years ago. So it was pretty cool to hear that. You know, obviously God redeemed my story and in a way that only he could. And I'm just, you know, grateful when I hear those things. So this Sunday I'm speaking at an event in Ellicott City it's for an organization called Single Faith. I'll be talking about relationships, sex, and dating. And then in August 10th, I'm speaking at something called the Save Single Summit in Wilmington, Delaware. And I'm talking about Christian dating mostly. And I really like it. I love these opportunities because, you know, like I feel like God's given me a really unique message and a way of explaining it that people have never heard before. And, you know, they've only, you know, people that are waiting, maybe they're Christians and they're trying to wait, and they're like, they don't even necessarily understand it. You know, their pastor told them it was beneficial, or maybe it's because the Bible says so, and I love breaking it down for people and seeing their eyes open. And because people are willing to do something when they understand it. Like, people go to the gym all the time because they know what the payoff is. most people don't understand the concept of waiting. That's why nobody does it. I mean, if a, you know, from a guy's perspective, if a girl wants to give you some sex, yeah, why would I say no, you know? But when somebody breaks it down and says, no, this is why, let me show you how it's going to impact your life in a positive way, then more people are willing to do it. Most people will go through temporary pain to get something more beneficial later, to get something they want most. They'll sacrifice what they want right now. Sometimes, not everyone will, but some people will. And so that's why I really like explaining it. So I plan on taking a bus. I have a 22 passenger bus available to me, and I plan on taking it from Baltimore to Wilmington, Delaware. So if you're interested in going with us, if you are, you know, in the area, you're a believer, you're waiting, or maybe you're considering waiting and you want to go, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a fun road trip. You know, who knows? Maybe there'll be a hot Christian girl or a hot Christian guy there waiting for you. So if you want more information about that, you can just drop me a message, inbox me, and that'll be a fun trip. August 10th. Next Friday is our Renegade Party. We're going to be at Bo Brooks at the Tiki Bar. Right outside there, we have a cornhole tournament. That's going to be great. Friday from 7 to 10 now. I'll put the link in this post. And then Saturday, July 27th, we're going to be doing a middle school makeover of Lakeland Elementary. I don't know why it's called a middle school if it's Lakeland Elementary. Anyway, we're going to be making over the school. So it's going to be a great volunteer event, and in July. And if you're not volunteering regularly, you should do it. You're missing out. Not only will you feel great about yourself afterward, you'll meet some great people in the process, and it just, you know, it's a game changer, really. So I'm trying to figure out a plan for my content. Like, a lot of the people that are finding City Fam, you know, in different parts of the world, are finding them through videos that I posted or things that I put up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out a plan for content. I think I'm being shadow banned on YouTube, and that was something I didn't even know about, but somebody told me, because I have a bunch of subscribers on YouTube, but my video views have been very low, and sometimes a lot of these companies like Facebook and Google, they're very liberal. So when you get somebody that has a real conservative message like me, they'll block, they'll shadow ban you. So they don't tell you, but they're just stop notifying your subscribers when you post videos. So very few people are seeing it. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get around that. So I don't know. I may start interviewing celebrities, like people that are in the same niche as me. Or I don't know. I don't really exactly know what I'm going to do, but I'm wrestling with that, trying to figure it out, because that seems to be driving everything in the organization. So that's it. Appreciate you guys watching, checking in. We're going to be working on something soon, I think, called The Truth About Loneliness. We may be making a documentary. It's kind of something I'm praying about. So I went to this thing, Innovation Works, last week, and you know, they asked us, they're like, what is the solution? What are you providing a solution for? And we narrowed it down to loneliness. That's what we're providing the solution for. And when I did some studies on it, I found that over 50% of the people in the United States are suffering from loneliness, and it's just become this global epidemic, loneliness. If you Google loneliness problem, you'll see all the articles. They were all written last year, this year. This is happening now. And CityFam is the solution to that, because we are really crowdsourcing the solution to loneliness. And so I talked to somebody today about doing this documentary for The Truth About Loneliness. So we're thinking about that might be what we do, and that could be a way to generate revenue to make this whole thing work. So that's it. Keep us in your prayers if you're the praying type, and come on out to an event. If you want more information about CityFam, you can go to cityfam.com. You can become a member. If you're not in this part of the world, Baltimore, you can click on Let Me Know when you come to my city, or you can click on Start a Chapter. If you want to support us, you can make a donation. It's tax deductible. If you want to become a contributing member, you can do that. If you want to see our financials, they're right on our website. I'm a volunteer. We only have one, we don't even really have one full-time employee. We have like a 3/4 full-time employee, and we have one part-time employee. So we do a lot with a little. So if you want to give a little, we'll do a lot with it. Appreciate you guys. See you.